So today we're going to look at Geophotos Episode 4. These are the great photos that we've amassed during our research. If you want your photos included in a future video, please just send them in. The best geologist is he who has seen the most rocks. It's attributed to Herbert Harold Read. He was a professor of geology at Imperial College, born 1889, died in 1970, and he was the former president of the Geological Society. So we're going to start off by looking at some hard rocks. And this one really caught my eye. It's a post from Applied Stratigraphics. It shows an orbicular granite. Well, I didn't know what an orbicular granite was, so I looked it up. Pause the video and have a look at that. It's actually come from this location here, down right in the south, Caldera, down in Chile. Now this photograph's taken in the Wichita Mountains of the USA, posted by Molly Turco. It shows a shear zone with beautiful rhydal shears. What are rhydal shears? They're commonly the first set of subsidiary faults seen prior to the development of a master fault. Now they form systematically at sort of 10 to 20 degrees to the major fault. It's a form of sort of low temperature, low pressure deformation, making sort of granites very, very brittle, and it results in these intense fracturing zones where the faults propagate. Now, such fractures, they can form systematically and indicate the slip descents along a fault plane. The acute angle between the rhydal shears and the master fault form arrows which point in the direction of slip. If you don't quite understand that explanation, and I'm not entirely sure I do, best talk to Molly. So moving on to soft rocks, walking in the air. What an amazing place. This is the Mangshan Five-Finger Peak. It's in Yizang County, Shenzhou City, Hunan Province, China. Said to resemble 5 giant fingers reaching for the sky. It isn't karst topography. That's what I thought when I first looked at it. The pillar formation is attributed to pre-existing fractures or joints, predominantly quartz-rich sandstone. With the wet climate during the winter months, the water freezes within the joints and expands, and the joints end up with all this detritus in, and the fluvial system washes out anything, and that's all washed away, and these things have formed over time. What a fantastic journey to walk around these. Now, Chenzhou is located on the map there, just south of perhaps the more famous, or is it infamous, Wuhan. An example of the scenery here. Not an awful lot you can do other than develop your tourist industry. You can't farm it. Beautiful looking place. Now this is a series of photographs taken by Graham Pritchard. Hello Graham. Posted on LinkedIn. Now this notes that good Cretaceous Tertiary or KT boundaries are difficult to find, but this one is from Zumaya in the Basque Country in the Pyrenean Four-Deep Basin, which shows steeply dipping conformable distal muddy turbidites. This location was actually used in the Game of Thrones with a CGI superimposed dragonstone castle on the cliff top. I don't actually watch that, but I think the KT boundary, around about the time when the Chicxulub meteorite was impacting Earth, is in around about this location here. Also in Zumaya in Spain, and there's the location just to the east of Bilbao, these fleche deposits. Fleche is typically a sedimentary rock with repeated cycles of different lithologies, progressing from deep water turbidites to shallow water shales and sands, and found next to building mountain ranges. This posted by Romani Mamdou. Really good looking photograph. Rachel Brackenridge, senior lecturer in geoscience at Aberdeen University. She posted this on LinkedIn. She visited SSE's gas storage salt caverns in the northeast of England, inspecting these cores. Amazing colours, but also deformation in that core is exceptional. Not quite as exceptional as this, perhaps. This is extreme soft sediment deformation. It's from the Sapor Formation turbidites in Guatemala, and it was a photograph taken by George Romero. The sequence is about 1.8 to 2.6 kilometers thick, and such soft sediment deformation is generally uncommon. Some speculate that this was actually caused by that previously mentioned Chicxulub meteorite impact. The impact triggered a gravity slide, and this is the resulting deformed, really messed up sediments. It's noted in this article from the Maya magazine that this wet tropical environment means that the outcrops very quickly weathered or overgrown with vegetation, so if people want to go out and try and find the iridium-rich layer, better be quick, because this outcrop may not be visible for too many years to come. Another example, this is from the Dead Sea Basin. Now, I kind of looked at this and thought, well, I wonder what that highly deformed layer, what it would do to seismic waves that were propagating through the section. Above it and beneath it, you've got very, very flat, parallel bedding, but what would happen to the signal if it was going into that zone? They're hosted by Geith Al-Fakri. Conglomerates, this is from the Fish Creek Mountains. That's the west side of the Salton Sea Trough over in California region. There's a transpressional block that's lifted a 5.7 thick sequence of Miopliocene basin fill. It's deposited in only 4 million years, this entire sequence, by the early Colorado River. Now, this is sort of a fanglomerate with granite clasts, but lots of geology happening in this particular region, partly because it's very, very close to the San Andreas fault zone, thanks to Riley Brickerhoff. Now, Alistair Cook posted this, mysterious sandcastles in Norway. Well, Alistair was walking along the beach. It's the Solar Beach in Stavanger, and he found these features. They're sort of 5 to 10 centimeters tall, and speculated that they're sculpted by the wind. Some other features here. This is the wind castles on the shores of St. Joseph, Lake Michigan. And it's the headline says the wind erodes frozen sand on Lake Michigan. There's a video you can see. You can go and have a look at that, actually watching them being made. This is pinnacles from the Namberg National Park in Australia. It's about 180 kilometres north of Perth. These are huge limestone pillars among yellow sands. Some of them are 3.5 metres tall, about 10 foot. Some are jagged, sharp-edged columns with a point on the top. Others look like tombstones. There's a map showing the location, and yeah, there's a car for scale. Colourful hoodoos. Yeah, this is from Thomas Houghton. It's the Dawson Arcose Formation in Colorado's Front Range. The sandstones with beautifully coloured clays, and these are referred to as, or as they weather out, these pillars of rock that stick up, they're referred to as hoodoos. Now, a rock glacier. This is from the northern Tian Shan rock glacier, a lobate or tongue-shaped landform. It's in Kyrgyzstan. It's a periglacial belt, about 1 square kilometre, with a distinctive moraine deposit rock, which deposited from former glaciers. So great evidence, all these moraines of what was one time a very significant glacier coming down this valley. That's from the mining industry professionals. Now, erosion can do amazing things over time, but no, this wasn't down to erosion. Here we see dinosaur tracks, well preserved on this Lower Jurassic Navajo sandstone. This is the world's largest known sand desert in the geologic record. It's in San Juan County, Utah, in the USA. That was posted by Joseph Antoni Albelda Marco. An angular unconformity. This is a really great photograph here. Got no information on this one other than the fact that it's just very, very dramatic. Almost vertical beds towards the base, and the near horizontal or moderately dipping beds up above. Marble mining. This marble's obviously formed from extreme heat and extreme pressure on calcite and dolomite crystals. Now, there's no location information in the post by Tawan Salih, but the rock, absolutely gorgeous looking rock, highly sought after for sculptures, for buildings, and published by the North Sea Corps. Hello, Henk. It's a feature from 167A12, a North Sea well in the Bray area. It's actually from the Upper Jurassic Bray Formation, and we can see these small scale fractures. At the core, it's a kind of about 5 or 6 inches across. A very, very impressive little fracture there. Now, this wee beastie was posted by Dean Sherman. 5 years in preparation to actually get this. Now, the name I'm going to butcher, but it's Boreolosus wilsoni. It comes from the southwest Wyoming Green River Formation, which is sort of Eocene, dated as 51.98 million years ago. The crocodilian fossil, when it was inspected, actually they could see a partly digested turtle with sand grains in its abdomen, so obviously it was having a beach snack when it died. Croc itself looks to have suffered a lethal attack. There's a rare and indeed a great in situ preservation state. It tells us a lot about the paleo environment. work's ongoing with this, and good luck to the team. This is from Steve Ogilvie. Steve took this photograph here. It's down at Cowie, which is next to Stonehaven. It's south of Aberdeen in Scotland. And you can see these little sand injection structures. I've highlighted a couple here with the arrows, and there's a scale bar. It's one of these cards for grain size recognition and things. But that would certainly enhance vertical permeability if these sand injection features actually joined up from the sand below to the sand above. Now, the Devonian Old Red Sandstone, fantastic. We see a lot of this in Scotland and in other parts of the UK. Just a beautiful picture. I thought I'd throw that in. This is a photograph quite interesting. You can see all these birds, the seabirds, are nesting, but they actually pick out the bedding planes. Now, this is from the Moray coast in northeast Scotland. That's the area on the map there. Yeah, this photograph here, it's in the small seaside village of Pennon, made famous by the film Local Hero, possibly one of the most photographed phone boxes in the world. We came across some images that weren't so good. This is really disappointing to see. This is Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela. There's a sort of an oil terminal here, but with decades of neglect, how is this ever going to get cleaned up? But we hope it does. What a mess. Don't like to see too many of these, but oil escaping from a wellhead and actually going into the environment here. It's in the Ogoniland wetlands. So somebody's been interfering with this well bore down in Nigeria. Now, there is lots of criminal activity with warlords and lawless remote areas where there's a lot of stealing of crude oil and illicit refineries. Sadly, they don't adhere to compliant HSE policies. No, this is described as a one-off. This is Ancon Bay in Peru, and a tanker was unloading crude oil at the Repsol-operated La Palmira refinery and was hit by a strong wave. The wave, by the way, came from an eruption, a volcanic eruption in Tonga. To give you some idea, there's Tonga there, and you can see right on the edge, on the other side, Peru. That's come a long way. Here's another picture that's not for the industry to be proud of, and this is Azerbaijan. I guess at one stage this was just a forest of drilling derricks, and they were producing, but sadly, again, there wasn't very good environmental control, and now there's just these swampy areas filled with oil and all sorts of rubbish that's been discarded. You can actually buy these prints of this from the Album Online website. So this photograph here, you can see the lens cap for scale. It's taken in the Texas-New Mexico border region by Professors Sylvester and Kovolt. They're at the University of Texas at Austin, and they make regular field trips down to this region. This is a folded anhydrite micrite laminate. It's the Castile Formation, and it's exposed in this region. Beautiful looking rock. Have you got any great photos that you want to share? We are trying to get Steve Adams to show us some of his amazing photographs of the northeast Scotland geology. So, Steve, send them in. We'd love to feature them. Thank you for watching. I hope you found that interesting. Please hit the like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Hope to see you back on our channel before too long. Bye for now.